Hi everyone, how are you doing right now? My name is Hershey, and thank you for listening. If you are listening through Spotify or through my podcast, or thank you for watching if you are doing this on YouTube. Now, today I'll be having a fearless forecast for the month of December. Now, as you know, guys, I did a fearless forecast for the month of June. So I hope that you could check back on my previous episode on my podcast because I have shared a lot of information to you about the month's energy, especially in the month of June. Now, the reason why I want to create this kind of forecast for the month of December because there are some drastic information or some dreadful information that you might need to know that you might need to really prepare. Okay, now let me just give you a summary or a background. I've been interested with astrology or the Chinese metaphysics, Feng Shui, and other related arts. And I've been studying it for years. And because I'm very passionate about it, I just want to have much knowledge about it as much as I can. And of course, this information that I'm sharing to you, I have already consulted this to professionals, a feng shui master, definitely, and some feng shui masters around international feng shui masters, renowned feng shui masters. I have a good friend here in Cebu. Her name is Master Judith Eugenio. So if you have anything that if you need help professionally, I could refer you to her. But for now, this is the knowledge that I want to share to you guys based on what I know and based on what I have studied and learned. Okay, just to give you a summary for excuse me if I keep on touching my face because it's kind of itchy. Just to give you a summary for June, but I hope that you could also check back so that you could better understand what I'm trying to tell you for December. So if you could have the time to check that one first, listen to my podcast about June. That's my latest podcast, and it would definitely tell you something about it. Okay, but just to give you a summary, in June I made mention about hostility and arguments. People are becoming disobedient and unruly, involved in looting. Some are involved into riots. Some are having rallies. Some have conflict. Are ranting online, are in conflict with each other, with their friends, with their family, with their networks. So a lot of these kinds of issues we have actually observed in the month of June. I also mentioned about fire accidents, and in the news, we have one major fire accident, the one in the Amazon building that got burned in California, and as well as we also have our local news or incidents as well here in the country. And I also mentioned about what else? Earthquake. Well, we have one in northern Cebu, but it was just like intensity 2 or intensity 3. I'm not quite sure with that, but yes, we do had an earthquake, and I made mention that one in my previous forecast. I also mentioned about volcanic eruptions, and I hope that we will not be having that, or yeah, because I have not read it yet in the news, but I hope it would never happen. But yeah, that is part of my forecast. And what else, guys? Related to suicide incidents, and just the month of June, we heard a lot of that in the news about suicide news, and because that is part of the mental stress, anxiety, and depression that is brought to the month's energy because of the clash of the horse and the rat animal signs. What else? Um, well, this is one thing that I need to share to you guys in the month of June. This year, we'll be experiencing three eclipses. It's kind of weird, right? So the first eclipse of the year in June, it will be in June 21st of 2020. This a few days from now. So that's the reason why that I have to create this podcast, that you would be sort of like warned, or you will be aware. Okay. The next second eclipse would be on July 4. Okay, just a few days. That is a lunar eclipse. Okay. And the horse month is from June 5 to July 4. So we will be having two um, eclipses in the month of the horse. Okay. And the third one for the year which is a more dreaded, the effect of that eclipse. It's kind of like, not so good. Will be on December 14th of 2020. That is a solar eclipse. And, last year, if we could check back, we had the solar eclipse a day after Christmas Day on December 26th. And you know what happened after that? We have this pandemic now. So in other cultures, we all know that the eclipse would bring us bad omen, bad luck, and some unfortunate events. So it still sounds true today. So I hope that we will keep ourselves aware, and we have to really prepare for this some unfortunate events, especially in the month of December. Okay, so that is just this month, guys, this month of June. And just a little information or knowledge about Chinese metaphysics. There are like five elements: the water, the wood, the fire, the earth, and the metal. And we also have the 12 animal signs, the rat, the horse. So we all know that today, this year, is a metal rat. And in Chinese metaphysics, one animal will have its conflicting animal, and that will be, for this year, it is the horse. That's the reason why that the month of June, which is governed by the horse animal sign, is about, it's critical and it's crucial. And that's the reason that I had a podcast about June, because obviously we have this very unprecedented and very weird events globally that happened to us: the earthquake, the oil spill in Russia, the riots happening globally, because it has something to do about arguments, and if there are any relationship issues, because the horse and the rat clash would something to do with relationship issues. So there might be some marital issues if you're married, or scandal issues for married couples. And just take care of your relationship, guys, especially if you have the conflicting animal signs in your chart. Now, if you definitely need help about that, I could help you personally. Just send me a private message, and I could help you check your birth chart. Just provide me your birth details and your time of birth. And if you still want, a more professional interpretation of that chart, I could refer you to a Feng Shui master who is a professional in that field, just to give you clarity. Then don't you worry, I could definitely refer you to someone. Or if you need some help right now, I could give you some insights as well. So please don't be shy on sending me a message. If you're listening to this podcast, there is a reply button in Anchor, and you could ask questions. I could be happy to answer those, and it will be part of this episode. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, you could also send me a comment down below, or you could search for my social media accounts. I have posted it on the description box. Okay, and send me a private message there on my social media accounts, on my Instagram. And yeah, just don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe and like the bell notification button, so every time I have podcasts or new entries, you will get notified. Okay, so that's it for June, guys. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just please track back to my previous episodes and check on that first. Okay, then after, come back to this episode, which I will give you a forecast about December. Okay, why December? Because December will be having the third eclipse, and which is like the worst kind of eclipse, according to the experts. I mean, the effects that it could bring to us after the eclipse. So that's why December. And December is also the month of the rat. Okay, and rat is a water animal sign. The element of rat is water, as well as the month of November is also water. And for these years, guys, the elements that we have is metal and water, because we are in the metal rat, and rat is water, and we have metal. So the missing elements is fire and earth. So in the month of, I know I'm going technical, but it's just I wanted to give this to you in a very simple term. November and December are water, are the elements of this month is water, and the year element is also water. So if you could see, there is an over, what do you call this, too much of the element. So water might be overflowing, okay? Because since earth is the element that controls the water, it's like a basin that keeps the water intact. And since earth is missing this year, so the water will just simply overflow, okay? Because there's no element to control it, okay? So what does it mean? How will we translate that? It could be a very wet month. I'm so sorry for the term, but yeah, it means, guys, that there might be some disasters related to water. That would be mean flood. I mean, literally flood. Typhoon, maybe the worst kind of typhoon. I'm so afraid to have that event happening, especially by December after the eclipse. Um, some accidents by the sea, ship collision, and yeah, there might be some boat or some ship sinking. So if I were you guys, I would advise you not to travel, especially travel by sea on the months of November and December. You could do it before this month or after the month, say January or February. Just avoid the month of November and especially December, because there's a bigger chance that this might be happening, really. And I'm afraid, or I hate to really tell you this, but you could track back with my June forecast, and those things happened. Okay, so by December, I'm just telling you this in advance, we have barely like 5 to 6 months to really prepare for this and absorb this information. That's the reason why that I have to make this podcast right now, because to give us enough time to prepare, because that would entail a second wave of the worst financial crisis that we might experience for this year. I know that we already experienced this financial instability in March, April, May until this present time, but I'm afraid there will still be much worse to happen in December. So I hope that people would get back to their jobs, business would open, because that would allow us to, save money and have some salaries, okay, and some earnings and some income. And please make sure to save, okay? Concentrate or focus more on buying basic essentials. And yeah, your medicines if you're on maintenance. And here's one thing on December, guys. It's a water month, and there will be water related issues in terms of our health risk. Okay, and that means to say, since we're talking about water and there's an overflow of water, it could mean about kidneys, bladder issues, reproductive issues, and we might be having some diarrhea issues, because something about dirty water that would lead to diarrhea. So if you have pre-existing conditions, if you're into dialysis right now, if you're a dialysis patient, and if you have existing conditions like cervical cancer, please take extra caution in the month of November and the month of December especially. Okay, just be vigilant, just take good care of yourself. Don't involve yourself that could trigger your condition. Okay, prepare your maintenance if you're doing so, your medicines. Have your checkup at least months prior, because this month would really trigger you, because it will be too much water element, and that would certainly translate to hit you or to hit us in our kidneys, urinary bladder, our reproductive organs, and stomach issues, maybe about diarrhea related illnesses or sickness, guys. And of course, it would still be virus issues, because virus is part of the water element. It's water would sort of like free flowing, just like the virus, it spreads faster. So I'm afraid that there will be a second wave perhaps of the virus issue or the pandemic. It might peak again in December. I'm so afraid that it would happen, or there might be an introduction of a new virus. We don't know, it might be come from rats themselves, rodents, bats maybe. But yeah, there may be a second wave of financial crisis, and like the worst kind of financial crisis, or could be a new virus introduced, another problem, another issue that we might face, especially in December. So yeah, I'm telling this to you guys because that is what I'm forecasting. This is what I'm seeing based on the scientific studies and the information that I've got from Feng Shui masters, and from what I've studied, because I've been self-studying this. So I'm sharing this information. And what else? um yeah, incidents related to water, so flood and typhoon, and sea related incidents, so please be careful for that. And here's the thing, water has something to do with mental issues, so I'm afraid that people might be overly anxious this time, uh too much overly depressed, and you know, suicidal issues again. um there may be issues with regards to the eyes, blood pressure issues as well during this month, because you know the missing element is fire and earth, and it's too much water, and metal as well is a supporting element of water, so that will be too much of it. So too much, it's an overflowing of water element, and I'm so afraid. And we have already this indication, a bad indication, a bad sign, the eclipse. Okay, so I hope, guys, that given the next months to come, July, August, September, October, November, hopefully we will get ourselves back up with our business, with our jobs, and you know, try to save as much as we could. You know, if in case we already have our salaries, our income, try to save. Okay, just buy those basic essentials for now. Okay, don't involve yourself into any luxury buying or something, some things that might not be very essential, because you know it will be very hard. We really need to prepare, excuse me, now for that. So that's the reason why I'm really telling you this information, because you know the podcast that I made for June was made on June 5, which is the start of the horse month, okay, the cycle. So it really helped a lot because I've been telling my friends about that already. It's not actually fortune telling, it's just forecasting. It's based on previous data, it's based on the elements, it's based on what I know. And well, it happened. So I just thought, guys, that because of this knowledge, I want to share this information to you. This is my help in one way or another. I don't know how you view it on your side. But from my own perspective, this is my way of helping you guys, because you know all of us are experiencing um, this. You know, we are financially unstable. We're very anxious. We might be very depressed. I mean, it gives us a lot of stress. Okay, every time, every day we're dealing with this, and it's really too much. So, and there's a worse thing coming in the next months to come that we need to prepare. So, I hope, because I do believe that knowledge is power, and once you have that knowledge, it gives you that confidence and how prepared you are. So here's what I need to do. Okay, given the information already that I told you, come December, prepare, have enough cash, be liquid. If you are on maintenance, if you are a dialysis patient, if you are a cervical cancer patient, and if you have some issues with your reproductive or kidneys or bladder issues, buy your maintenance or buy your meds ahead of time. That would cover you for maybe until January. If you have a budget for that, please do so. Save for basic essentials like food, and you know, for your family, for your kids. You will be having enough time to prepare for that. Okay. Now, if you have pre-existing conditions and you're prone to what I'm telling you, that you're prone to these kinds of diseases and illnesses, make sure that this, in the months of June, July, August, July, August, September, you have to keep yourself physically prepared. Okay. Just keep yourself Keep yourself healthy. Okay. um what else? For the natural disasters, I know that this is out of our control if we will have one. So for floods, make sure that you have already the basic essentials, your beddings and all those things, especially if you live in an area that is greatly hit by floods, in the past. So, excuse me for that. Make sure that you really, really prepare for these kinds of events, especially the month of November and December. I know historically it's a rainy season, it's a flood season in our country. So, you know, if it could happen on regular, if regular days, when we don't have any pandemic, how much more right now we have this pandemic, right? So we have to really keep prepared for that. Avoid traveling in the month of November and December, guys, especially if it's on sea travel or on plane. It doesn't matter anything about travel. If you could, if you have relatives that are working like in ships, the seamen, I mean, yeah, the ship's crew. I hope that they would take extra caution and be very vigilant onto their voyage. And because, I hope that the world needs to be very vigilant and be very extra careful when they navigate the waters. And yeah, prepare ourselves financially and always protect ourselves. And there may be another second peak of the virus or the pandemic or the COVID issue globally, or there might be new viruses or new, let's say, developing health risks to humanity after by December. So it would spread faster as well. And yeah, if you could check with professional Feng Shui masters, December is really something that we really need to take caution and be vigilant. So I'm just telling you in advance, guys. Okay, there's too much water element for the month of November and especially December, because it's a rat year as well. It's a rat month. Okay, so there you go, guys. If you need more clarity, if you need more help right now, I'm happy to assist you in that regards. If you need more professional advice or professional interpretation, I could refer you to a Feng Shui master for that. Okay, but for now, I'm willing to help you. Send me a private message in my social media accounts. If we are friends, just drop me a private message. I could check your birth chart and I could give you some insights and advice, perhaps, because for me, I have the horse and the rat animal signs, and these are two conflicting signs existing in my own chart. And I have just need to deal with it, because I'm aware that these are present in my chart. Then I know how to deal with it. So there you go, guys. I hope that these podcast or this video or this vlog help you a lot in terms of awareness. Again, just try to check back my previous episodes, especially my forecast in the month of June, to give you an idea. Because right now, this is for my fearless forecast for the month of December 2020. And again, guys, don't forget, in the time of eclipse, don't go out, okay, in your house. Just stay inside your house. June 21st, July 4, and December 14 this year. So take note of these 3 dates, guys, okay? Inform your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues at work. It might be very exciting to really go out and check the eclipse, but guys, the effects of that is we are exposed to it. I mean, that is just my own personal opinion. That is just my belief. You could take it. You could not, you could simply ignore what I'm telling you. It's really up to you. If you believe in it, well, I believe in it. So it's really up to you. Again, I'm just sharing to you this information. It's really up to you if you're going to absorb it, or if you're going to practice it, or if you're going to take on it. Okay, so I'm sharing you the information. Nothing's no harm for that, guys. So there you go. I will not keep you this long. So thanks for listening. if you're listening into my into Spotify or iTunes. And thanks for watching if you're doing this on YouTube as well. And I'm gonna be blogging about this, guys. So I'm gonna write the article, like a text version of this episode in my blog. That is www.hershikisses.me. Okay, it's not .com, but it's hershikisses.me. Okay, so I will be posting the link as well here on the description box below my vlog. So there you go, guys. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you're gonna share this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button for new updates. Okay, bye. Take care.